Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to continue working on this bowl now that I have the rim cut like I showed in the previous video with the jigsaw. Now I'm going to show you how I clean up that surface so it's nice and smooth and even and flat. It doesn't have any waves. I do an okay job with the jigsaw, but there's always a little inconsistency there. So I thought I'd show you how I finish this up. The first tool I'm going to show you is a rasp. There's a Nicholson number 49 rasp. It's just a coarse rasp. I'm going to use the flat side. I'm going to bring the part I'm working on closest to me, and then I'll use the spindle lock to keep the bowl stationary so it doesn't slide around when I'm working on it. Now with the nice flat surface that you have on the rasp, I can see where it's hitting high spots here and skipping over the low spots. So just the nature of this tool, it has a flattening effect. My chuck wasn't screwed on very tight. And as I work along the rim here, I'll stop and I'll step back and try to sight along the curve to see that it is relatively flat and doesn't have a lot of waves or inconsistencies. And when I get one section that I'm satisfied with, I'll shift the bowl around, lock the spindle again, and move on to the next area. Then I'll switch, once I've made my way all the way around, I'll switch to a finer rasp. Here's another Nicholson, this is a file, not nearly as coarse. Come back to my starting point. And this will remove the marks from the rasp. Alternatively, I have a different style file. This is an Aru file. It's made in France, and these are handmade files. Each little tooth on these rasps is punched by hand. Really, really nice tool. It cuts clean and fast. So it's almost more aggressive than that coarse Nicholson rasp, but leaves a better, smoother surface. All right, so I make my way all the way around the piece with the rasp and the files, and then it's just switching to sandpaper. And I have a little sanding block here that has some cork, probably like some cork gasket material that's been glued to the pine block. And I start with 60 grit. And I go all the way around the bowl with 60 grit, and then I move to 100 grit. I think you get the idea from here. I move through the grits. I go 60, 100, 150, 220, and 400. And usually 400 is satisfactory on most domestic hardwoods that I have access to. This is sugar maple, which is pretty hard, but sands up really nice and takes a good polish from the 400. Remember that when you're sanding, you're doing the coarsest grit is the only grit you're going to use to shape, to do any shaping of the piece. As the grits get finer and finer and finer, those grits are, you only use those to remove the scratches from the coarser previous grit. So if you have any shaping to do, I'm going to do it with the coarsest, the 60 grit. If I have to go back because I find an area where I've found I missed some rasp marks, then I'll back up and go to a coarser grit instead of sticking with the finer grit and trying to muscle through it. All right, I hope that helps and I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching.